The moment Rex sank his teeth into that suitcase, everything froze. Passengers screamed, alarms blared, and officers drew their weapons. But no one, not even the head of airport security, could have guessed what was really inside that bag. What the dog found would change everything. Before we start, make sure to hit like and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. Morning sunlight spilled through the glass walls of Terminal 3, painting golden streaks across the polished floors. The airport buzzed with life, families embracing, wheels of luggage rolling, flight announcements echoing overhead. Amid the steady rhythm of travel, Officer Mark Daniels walked with calm precision, his loyal canine partner Rex trotting at his side. Rex was no ordinary German shepherd. He'd served for 5 years, trained to detect drugs, explosives, even fear. Mark trusted him more than most people he knew. Together, they had caught smugglers, prevented threats, and earned quiet respect from every officer in the building. Today felt like any other shift. Routine patrols, random screenings, nothing out of place. Mark sipped his coffee, scanning the crowd, when Rex suddenly stopped mid-step. His ears perked, his muscles tensed. Mark frowned. "Rex," he murmured. The dog didn't move. His eyes had locked onto something near the baggage carousel. Rex's low growl rumbled through the noise of the terminal. Mark followed his gaze to a sleek black suitcase resting by the carousel, its owner, a young woman in a gray coat, waiting nervously beside it. Nothing about her seemed unusual at first, but Rex's reaction said otherwise. Before Mark could react, Rex tugged forward, barking sharply. Passengers turned their heads, startled by the sudden noise. The woman stepped back, clutching her purse tightly. "Well, what's wrong with him?" she stammered. Mark held the leash firm. Rex heel, but the dog didn't obey. His body stiffened, eyes locked on the suitcase. Then, with a sudden lunge, he bit down hard on the side of the bag, growling fiercely. Gasps echoed through the terminal. A child started crying. A security officer shouted for people to move back. "Ma'am, stay where you are," Mark ordered, his heart pounding. Rex's teeth wouldn't let go, his growl deep and unrelenting. Mark had worked with him long enough to know Rex never acted without reason. Whatever was inside that suitcase wasn't just luggage. Something was very, very wrong. Within seconds, chaos rippled through the terminal. Alarms blared overhead as the security alert went out. Officers shouted for passengers to clear the area, and people scattered in every direction, dragging their luggage, whispering in panic. Mark's pulse raced. Rex still had his jaws clamped on the suitcase, refusing to release. "Easy, boy," Mark urged, kneeling beside him. The dog's body trembled with tension, but his eyes, sharp and focused, never left that bag. The young woman stood frozen, tears brimming. "Please, I swear I don't know what's happening." Her voice cracked, trembling between fear and confusion. 2 more officers rushed in, forming a tight perimeter. One reached for his radio, calling for the bomb squad. Another began ushering away the last of the onlookers. Mark swallowed hard. This wasn't routine anymore. He'd seen Rex signal danger hundreds of times, but never like this. The woman's suitcase sat still and silent between them, its smooth black surface glinting under the airport lights. But to Rex, it was alive, dangerous, something unseen. Mark met the lead officer's eyes and said quietly, "Keep everyone back. Until we know what's inside. No one goes near that bag." Mark turned to the woman, his voice firm but steady. "Ma'am, step over here, please." She hesitated, clutching her coat. Her eyes darted between the suitcase and Rex, who was now pacing in short, sharp circles, growling under his breath. I packed it myself," she stammered. "It's just clothes, I swear." Mark's gaze didn't waver. "Then why did Rex react like that?" he asked quietly. The woman opened her mouth, but no words came out. Moments later, a nearby officer pulled up security footage from the check-in counter. The screen flickered to life, showing the same woman accepting the suitcase from a man in a dark hoodie just outside the terminal. Mark's jaw tightened. "You said you packed it yourself." Her face went pale. "He told me it was safe," she whispered. "He said it was just gifts." Rex barked again, this time sharper, urgent. He scratched at the tile near the bag as if time itself was running out. Mark straightened, his decision made. "We're opening it," he said, voice cutting through the tension. The bomb squad officer nodded slowly, lowering to one knee beside the suitcase. Every breath in the room seemed to stop. The bomb technician crouched slowly beside the suitcase, sweat beading at his temple. Every movement was precise, careful. The terminal had gone silent. No voices, no footsteps, just the hum of distant machines and the faint growl of Rex. Mark stood back, heart pounding. "Easy," he murmured. "Go slow." The officer gently unzipped the bag, layer by layer. A faint hiss escaped as trapped air released. Everyone leaned in slightly, then froze. There was movement inside. The technician's eyes widened. "Wait, something's alive." He peeled back a folded blanket and gasped. Inside the suitcase was a tiny puppy, trembling violently, wrapped in layers of plastic and tape. Its breathing was shallow, weak, barely there. "Oh my God," whispered one of the officers. The young woman fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "I didn't know," she cried. "They told me it was just a package. They said I'd get paid when I landed." Mark rushed forward, tearing the tape free and cradling the puppy gently. It whimpered softly, its body cold against his gloves. Rex stepped closer, sniffing the pup, then let out a low whine, a sound that broke the tension completely. The puppy whimpered again, weak but alive. Mark handed it carefully to a paramedic who had just arrived on scene. "Get it oxygen," he said urgently. "Now." The woman sobbed uncontrollably, covering her face. Between broken breaths, she confessed everything. She'd been approached by a man online, promised money to transport souvenirs. She never knew what was inside, only that refusing might put her in danger. Mark listened quietly as officers led her aside. His focus stayed on the tiny creature being treated nearby. The truth hit him like a weight. This wasn't just one bag. The smuggling ring had been using innocent travelers to traffic live animals, sealed inside luggage bound for foreign buyers. If Rex hadn't reacted when he did, the puppy and dozens like it would have never survived the flight. The airport chief approached, his expression grave. "We've traced the contact. This dog just helped us shut down an entire operation." Mark looked down at Rex, who now sat calmly, eyes fixed on the recovering pup. "You knew," Mark murmured, voice soft with awe. "You always know." Rex wagged his tail once, subtle, proud, like a hero who needed no applause. Later that evening, the chaos of the day was long gone. Mark sat on the back steps of the K9 unit, the rescued puppy asleep in a soft blanket beside him. Rex lay close, his head resting gently on Mark's knee. "You didn't just stop a crime today," Mark whispered, his hand brushing over Rex's fur. "You saved a life." Rex's tail thumped softly against the floor, eyes half closed, content. Some heroes wear badges. Others simply have four paws and an unbreakable heart. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. More true stories of courage await.